NFL execs share mixed feelings on Shedeur Sanders ahead of 2025 draft. Deion Sanders responds to criticism. With the 2025 NFL draft on the horizon, quarterback prospect Shedeur Sanders remains one of the most talked about players, not just for his on-field ability, but for the swirling narratives around his readiness for the professional game. Was a negative quote a strategic play? Speculation has emerged about whether a recent anonymous quote criticizing Sanders was more calculated than candid, possibly an attempt by a coach or team to intentionally lower his draft stock in hopes of landing him later in the first round. The anonymity of the quote makes its authenticity hard to gauge, underscoring the broader issue with unnamed sources. Without someone willing to attach their name to a statement, it's nearly impossible to discern truth from tactic. League insiders share concerns and context. While skepticism exists, some league insiders have offered more measured perspectives. One AFC executive noted their team's interview with Sanders didn't go great, suggesting there may be some legitimate concerns about how he presents himself in high-stakes professional settings. The most revealing assessment, however, came from an NFC scouting director who emphasized that while Sanders isn't a bad kid, he might face a significant adjustment when transitioning into the NFL environment. Greater than, he's been so insulated, the director said. It's going to be a culture shock when he really learns how a locker room works. He's had a huge say in game planning, in coaching, everything has been built around him. In the NFL, no one's going to care who your dad is. You'll have to face real adversity. The director also pointed out past tendencies by Sanders to call his own plays at the line of scrimmage, decisions that reportedly led to mistakes during his final college season at Colorado. The implication was clear: that kind of freedom won't fly in a pro locker room. Deion Sanders defends his son. Unsurprisingly, Deion Sanders, Shedeur's father, former NFL star, and college coach, had strong words in response to the criticism. Speaking to USA Today, Deion dismissed much of the chatter as baseless. Greater than, it's silly to us, he said. Most of it is laughable. I told him, son, when it don't make sense, it's God. Because some of this stuff is so stupid it doesn't make sense. Deion's influence looms large over his son's career, and that influence is reportedly giving some NFL executives pause. According to NFL Network's Tom Pelissero, one NFC executive expressed concern that Deion's habit of publicly defending Shedeur might not sit well with certain organizations, especially those wary of outside noise affecting team dynamics. Where will Shedeur land in the draft? Despite the concerns, Shedeur Sanders remains widely regarded as the number 2 quarterback prospect in the 2025 NFL Draft, trailing only Cam Ward, who many expect the Tennessee Titans to select with the first overall pick. Shedeur's draft position will likely be shaped by how much weight teams give to his perceived insulation in college and the influence of his father. If he slips out of the top 15, it might seem like a setback, but it could also place him in a better position long-term. A team with a stable coaching staff and a supportive infrastructure might be the perfect environment for him to mature and prove doubters wrong. Whether Sanders becomes a franchise quarterback or struggles with the transition will depend on how he adapts, not only to the speed of the game but also to a very different culture than the one he's grown accustomed to. Let me know if you'd like a shorter version or one styled more like a blog post or video script.